So last week or so we got our first screenshots from AFL Evolution 2, and in this video we're going to take a look at those screenshots and see if there's any improvements to be seen from Evolution 1. So in these 4 new screenshots we get a look at 3 new stadiums that are being added to the game. We've got Blundstone Arena in Hobart, we've got Treagar Park in Alice Springs, and Mars Stadium in Ballarat. These 3 stadiums were definitely much requested from Evolution 1. A lot of people weren't happy that those weren't included, so it's great that they are here now. Especially since these are grounds that are going to be actually used in the AFL season, so it's great to have, I think, most if not all of the AFL grounds in the game this year. With the 2018 season update DLC, we got the addition of State League teams in Waffle, Sandful and Neeful. One of the things that people were hoping for in Evolution 2 was a couple more state grounds. You know, we've got a few VFL grounds already in the game, but it would be nice to have some for the other state leagues. It does seem like we're not going to get any of those because you'd imagine they would have been announced with this first batch of AFL stadiums. So that's unfortunate, especially when you consider a ground like Fremantle Oval that's used for both South Fremantle in the Waffle and the Dockers AFLW side. So, you know, a ground like that that has multiple uses amongst a couple different leagues would be quite handy to have. Especially would be nice to be able to play JLT games at these smaller grounds. So while that is unfortunate, it does make a lot of sense. You know, it's better that we could spend time on content for the AFL side of things rather than building the state league grounds that maybe not a lot of people will use. One of the screenshots that really interests me is the one of Treagar Park in Alice Springs. If you look at that shot, the lights are on and the sun is setting. It's clearly a game at twilight or in the early evening or what have you, but it looks vastly different to the twilight we're used to seeing in AFL Evolution 1. You've got a much darker sky, the sun seems to be a lot lower, and again, as I say, the light towers are on, which I'm not sure happened in Evolution 1. The other thing worth considering is that if you look at the screenshot of Mars Stadium, it also looks like it's a game being played at that twilight time of day. It does look vastly different from the Alice Springs one, you know, it looks much earlier in the evening. Now the reason why I bring all of this up is that could this be a little bit of a hint or an indication that perhaps we could be getting some sort of day-night transition in this game. It's something that a lot of sports games have. You know, the Major League Baseball games with MLB The Show have had it for a long, long time. The Big Ant games with Big Ant Cricket and their rugby league game have had this day-night transition in their games. So it's a nice little detail that adds a bit of realism to the game to see the passing time of day. Now I'm probably reading way too much into this, but I think if you look at these screenshots, particularly the 3 shots of the new stadiums, they do look like they're at 3 distinctively different parts of the day. You know, the sun is setting at different times. You've got the Blundstone Arena shot, which is obviously during the day. Then you've got the Mars Stadium shot, which looks like the usual twilight from Evolution 1. But then you've got this Alice Springs shot, which looks like it's much later in twilight. So it could be a cool new feature that we could be getting in the game. Now, since the majority of these stadiums weren't actually in Evolution 1, it's very hard to compare the 2 games and see if there's any kind of graphical improvement from one to the next. But one of these screenshots is from Optus Stadium, which was in the 2018 DLC update pack. The first thing that strikes out to me is that one, it is very dark around the outside of the stadium, but there does seem to be a kind of nice natural overflow of light and a nice glow coming from the lights of the stadium, which is a nice little detail that makes it look a lot better. The main thing you'll notice here is that they've added a lot of detail to the outside of the stadium. As we can see here, they've got the outside lights on the stadium, which if you've never been to Optus, these lights light up in the colour of the home team. So here we can see they're lit up in purple and white, so it's a Dockers home game, and presumably when West Coast play there, they'll light up in blue and gold. Now whether these lights will actually move like they do in reality, we'll have to wait and see, but it is a nice little attention to detail to put that on the outside of the stadium, particularly since it's a shot that we'll only see for a couple of seconds at the start of the game. Now this does look like it's the exact same exterior shot of the stadium that we got from the 2018 update pack for AFL Evolution 1, so it does seem that maybe we won't be getting any new kind of exterior shots at the start of the game for the stadiums, which is not a big deal. That's just a minor thing. Like we said, it's only on for 2 seconds at the start of the game, but it would be nice to get some kind of, you know, new and improved shots before the game and something new to add to the presentation. But overall, I think these screenshots are looking pretty good. Again, it's hard to tell. We don't see anything in action, you know, we don't see any players, we don't see any crowds, so we don't know how that's all improved. Just at first glance, it does look like there's been even just a slight kind of improvement to graphics overall. The stadiums in Evolution 1 always looked great, you know, so it's not until you get to see the players, the crowd, and the game in motion that we can really make a judgment on how much has this improved just from a graphics point of view. It is nice to see some shots of the game and It's very exciting that we're starting to get some info. Now, does this give us any idea on a potential release date? Not really, but I'm going to try and guess anyway. So for the first game, they started showing off these stadium screenshots on around March 23rd. The game came out about 6 weeks later on May 5th. This time they've started showing off these stadium shots on March 8th, so I'm going to take a guess and say that 6 weeks from now, the game will be released on about April 19th. Probably not, but why not take a guess, really? If I'm right, then I told you so. So guys, let us know your thoughts down in the comments below. What do you think about these screenshots? Do they look good? Are you excited to have new stadiums in the game? And are you excited that we're finally getting to see some stuff from AFL Evolution 2? Let us know your thoughts, but until next time, I'll see you later.